Welcome into the DNVR Orange and Blue Weekly Breakdown presented by Canyon Bakehouse. Canyon Bakehouse makes delicious, certified gluten-free breads, bagels, English muffins, and other baked goods right here in Colorado. Their gluten, dairy, nut, and soy-free products make it easy for families to enjoy the taste and texture of fresh bread so everyone can love bread again. Find them at any major grocery store in the freezer or fresh bread aisle and visit CanyonGlutenFree.com to grab a coupon. I'm Allie Monroy, and with me today is the one and only Ryan Koenigsberg. Welcome, Ryan.
Thanks for having me.
All right, well, we're in a pretty good mood. Why is that, Ryan?
Lock season, baby.
Drewcember is officially underway.
Oh, it's here, and it might not be leaving for a long time, and that's what's so exciting about this. Well, Drewcember will end.
Yeah.
At the end of the month. But then we'll be in Drew-uary. And
I'm really excited to hear the way you make these months up.
Well, the Broncos aren't going to be playing in January, so we'll just get back on this in September.
That one didn't work.
Okay.
But
anyways,
the Broncos beat the Chargers on Sunday 23-20 with Drew Lock leading them as the starting quarterback, and he had a pretty solid game.
Yeah, it's weird to look back, and the further we get away from it, the less good it feels, honestly, because in the moment it had that excitement. You could see the passion from Drew. You could see the excitement from his teammates. You saw them all rally around him and congratulate him after he got that first touchdown pass. You could feel it. And then the further we get away from it, the more you start to think about that second, third, and fourth quarter where he didn't do anything, but it's not his fault.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, the most important thing to remember is, like, he pretty much, you go back and rewatch that game, he pretty much did everything they asked him to throughout the game. The most impressive part, and this is what has me feeling great today, is he was 7 of 13 on third downs. Not the Broncos were 7 of 13 on converting third downs. He was 7 of 13 converting third downs on passing plays.
Yep.
And that is really, really good. That's 54%. The Broncos were completing 30% of those opportunities before Drew Lock. He was even pretty good, 40% on third and long. Should have been 50% because Deshaun Hamilton missed, he just dropped a pass that was right in his breadbasket. So that is playmaking. And you saw two of those completions were on third downs. He made a play with his feet for the second touchdown. It was just, that's why despite the really low numbers, it actually feels really good because he made big plays in big moments.
We got to talk about that first touchdown for Drew to Courtland Sutton. Courtland Sutton said Drew told him to run that route. It wasn't in the game plan, and then Courtland Sutton made an incredible catch, which he's had a few of those this season.
Yeah, Courtland Sutton is like the king of making great catches to make young quarterbacks feel better about themselves. Both of the first touchdowns for Brandon Allen and Drew Lock, incredible catches. This one, he somehow outdid himself. Probably the catch of the year in the NFL. When you rewatch it, the craziest part is that he lays out, his body hits the ground before he catches the ball. And if you've ever just watched plays like this happen, what usually happens is they slam down onto the ground, the ball pops out, and no one cares about it. It wasn't a drop. The fact that he was able to pin it to his arm, hold on to it, catch of the year. And huge for Drew to not only make that throw, which was in a place where only Courtland could get it, and maybe like only Courtland in the world could get it, but to have the confidence. That's that it factor that I wrote about after the game. That is just something different.
It was the second drive of the game for him.
Right, his 15th play of his career, or maybe even less. He walks out there and he's like, all right, it's time to do it my way. Courtland, run the fade. I'll make the throw. Go get it. You gotta have a little something. You know what I'm talking about? You gotta have a little something down there to be able to make that play and to make that call in that moment. Like, he was already feeling it. And I talked to a source who told me that this team and these players feel a way about Drew Lock that they haven't felt about anyone that's taken this quarterback job. And again, how they feel about you is just as important as how you feel about yourself or how you're actually doing. They got to want to play for you, and Drew Lock is certainly getting that out of them.
That celebration at the end of the game definitely helped. You saw the teammates rallying around him, so excited, him running around and hyping the fans up for his first win.
Let's not forget, Allie, they were 3-8.
Yeah.
That game meant literally nothing.
Nothing.
It meant
actually
nothing.
hurts them
Well,
draft stock wise.
But he cared that much. And dudes see that. And like when someone else is caring that much, you kind of feel bad about yourself if you're not caring that much as he is. So they got a tough matchup this week.
Yep.
But that was really, really important to see them rally around him like that.
A quote came out of practice today that Archie Manning messaged Drew Lock and said, "You can't win them all if you don't win your first one." And I think that's really, really cool for Drew Lock.
Right. It's like you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
Okay. All right. I guess that is true.
Yes.
We do have to move on to a topic I've been seeing a lot on social media, and it is about Rich Scangarello's play calling and the conservativeness that he's had. A big thing was Drew Lock got rolling after that first quarter, and then they pulled back, which we've seen multiple times this season in games. And, I mean, even at the end of the game, Vic Fangio, head coach, came out and said, you know, the offensive staff wanted to kneel it and go into overtime. Nope, I didn't want to, so we went for it, and they won the game because of that.
Yeah, he threw him under the bus there, which was odd, I guess. You just don't normally see that. I think when he reflected back on that, he realized he shouldn't have done that. And I think for him, my guess is that he was just trying to gain some public support rather than trying to lose public support for Rich. But there's two sides to this coin. One side of it is the Broncos won. Drew Lock played well. And we left feeling really, really great about ourselves. Now, we don't want to consider this world, but there is a world where they go out and get the uber aggressive in that second quarter, and Drew throws 2 interceptions, and the Broncos end up losing the game, and we're just feeling like, about it. You know, so there's that side of it. But there is the other side of Drew was feeling it. Like, the throw to Noah Fant in the back of the end zone that was actually dropped was a perfect throw. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And then on the very next play, he bounces back, he throws the touchdown to Courtland Sutton. And that was essentially the end for him. And I remember I was sitting next to Zach Stevens. I said, he's feeling it. And I couldn't wait to see what was going to happen next. And unfortunately, they just took the ball out of his hands. So I thought the Broncos kind of did a disservice to themselves by being so conservative because they don't end up getting a full game evaluation of Drew Lock. But you also do have to consider the fact that we ended up feeling great about it because they won. So you hope that this week, I don't think they're going to have the luxury of being up big and getting conservative. I think they're going to have to keep the pedal to the metal the whole time. And hopefully Drew steps up.
Yeah, in my opinion, I just think at this point in the season, you have nothing to lose. Why not? Why not see what Drew Lock has? Of course, if he threw those 2 interceptions or more interceptions, we would have felt different about it. But still, I mean, you don't have to go really, really, really aggressive. You could have just given him a chance to just make a few more plays. They were 3-8, like you said.
3 passing attempts in the first 14 minutes and 30 seconds of the second quarter. He ended up throwing 3 more passes when they got the ball with 30 seconds left, just kind of pushing it down the field. But really, 3 passing attempts in the whole quarter. That's really, really conservative.
Well, like you mentioned, they do have a tough matchup this week against the Texans. What are you expecting to see? Drew Lock is officially the starter. No second guessing on that one. What are you expecting to see?
I'm expecting Drew Lock to take this kind of personally. Now, he has an opportunity here, and I think he's the type of person who can see this, to start Lock Mania. Now, I don't want to put that much pressure on him because, again, whether they win or lose is really insignificant at this point. But here's the thing. If he goes out there, he plays really well, the Broncos beat Deshaun Watson and the Texans, there will be no stopping the Lock hype train.
Oh, God, I can't even imagine it.
And Drew is the type of person who understands that. So he's going to want this one really, really, really bad. And maybe it's too early for him to want to take that into a game, and maybe it ends up coming back to bite him. He gets a little too aggressive. But I think you're going to see Drew really try to motivate this team this week. It's his team now.
Yeah.
It's his team from here on out, and he said it in the press conference. He said, the team, I think they saw a little bit of me this week. They're going to see a lot of me this week. He's going to do everything he can to try and get this team to rally and treat this like a playoff game. And I hope they pull it off because it'll be fun to see what this town does.
Do you have a score prediction?
It's early in the week.
I know. We are recording this on a Wednesday.
I haven't thought about it yet. I'm going to hold my score prediction for the podcast.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, I was so good last week. I don't want to mess this up.
It's tradition to give me a score prediction. Yeah, you're right. Last week, Ryan got it right. You guessed 23 points and the Broncos winning and Drew Lock starting.
Listen to the podcast.
Well, he left you hanging, guys. But be sure to listen to the podcast and all of our post-game content on thednvr.com. For Ryan Koenigsberg, I'm Allie Monroy, DNVR.